Good day, everyone. My name is Vince Gelman. Thank you for joining me today. So, there is growing concern about the central bank digital currency plan that is now openly being talked about. We saw it being talked about in Davos. The globalists are not hiding their plans anymore. It's wide open for whoever dares to look. And yeah, there's growing concern about this one world digital currency and how it's going to tie into our vaccine passport and our social credit score, and how we won't be able to buy that loaf of bread unless we get the latest booster. We won't be able to buy our children diapers if they don't get the latest booster. We won't be able to pay our bills. If we don't comply, if we don't follow the rules, they will have control over our money as all banks, all currency consolidate into one. And so, yeah, it's natural to be concerned about that. I'm not concerned about it. And I'll say why in a moment. And I hope my words serve to empower you. So what we're seeing is some people are saying, well, how are we going to stop this from happening? How are we going to stop this? Because really that is a very powerful weapon that they want to put into place, isn't it? And really that's how they control us. And we saw the power of this in Canada. I live in Canada when the truckers or some truckers or some people involved with that convoy had their bank accounts frozen. We saw how quickly the government can shut down people's access to their finances and to their ability to pay their bills. So it's a very powerful weapon that they're wanting to put into place. And so it is natural for people to have concerns. It's natural for people to want to start thinking of strategies of how to stop this. And one strategy, which is not so much about stopping it, but it's a strategy of redirecting one's wealth. And what we're seeing is more and more people, I'm certainly seeing this amongst the alternative media. I'm seeing a lot of alternative media sources on YouTube who are promoting gold. Or they're saying, get some gold. Gold is the way to go right now. So there's a push to get into gold. And of course, another strategy is to get a digital currency like Bitcoin. Get into Bitcoin. So get into Bitcoin, get into gold, get into silver. So find another route. But the thing is that when we say, how are we going to stop this? Or when we start reacting from the place of, okay, I need to go down the road of gold or Bitcoin, the thing to check in with ourselves is, how much am I coming from fear? How much am I coming from fear and therefore giving my power away to the globalists? I'm not interested in making any reactionary decisions. I'm not interested in trying to change my life in order to avoid what people are fearful that is coming. Here's where I go. Here's what I take a stand for. And that is this. It doesn't matter whether you invest in gold or not. It doesn't matter if you go down the road of Bitcoin or not. It's actually not about that. It's about realizing that the real currency is aligning with the currents of life. The abundant currents of life, your inherent wealth consciousness that is unlimited. That is the real currency. The currency is aligning with the Tao, the river, the way, those currents. And if you align with those currents, if you surrender to them, they will take you exactly where you need to go, and you will be provided for. Isn't that what all great teachers have taught us? Is, first seek the kingdom of heaven and all things will be provided to you. Surrender, align with, give yourself to the currency and the currents of life, and you will be well taken care of. And the thing is that when you give yourself to those currents, there's a feeling of, I'm in the right place at the right time, because I feel how well I'm being guided, how well I'm being supported, how I'm being given everything that I need at this time. And I have nothing to fear. I have nothing to fear because all is well and all is taken care of. So I want to offer that to you as a different way of responding to the fear narrative, because it is a fear narrative of how are we going to stop this central bank digital currency? What should I do instead? What are some backup plans, alternative plans? You see, this is all very fear and logic based. I'm not sensing the heart in those narratives. I'm not sensing the soul. I'm hearing fear and reactivity. And that's not what is ultimately going to help us transcend, leave this age of darkness that the globalists want to sustain. We birthed the golden age by awakening to the gold within. You can buy gold, or you can awaken to the gold within. Right? It's the golden age arrives by activating your soul consciousness that is infinitely wealthy. You are born inherently wealthy, right? It precedes all acts of doing and all acts of having. Your wealth is inherent. You are born wealthy. You were born abundant. And so this is yours already. The kingdom of heaven is yours already. You are that kingdom of heaven. And see, so what the dark forces are doing is they're pushing a narrative to make us believe that we are disempowered. They want to make us feel disempowered more and more. And they want to be they want to play God and step in and say, well, we are going to be the ones that provide you with your paltry universal basic income. They want to be the ones who provide your little bit of wealth. It's a complete inversion of what is true and what is holy and what is real, which is that you are the source of wealth. We are the source of wealth. It's already within us. We are already sovereign in our wealth consciousness, and they can't take that away from us. So this time is a time of awakening. It's a time of self-realization. And that ultimately doesn't come from buying Bitcoin or buying gold. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do that either. But it's a recognition that the currency is already within us, and them pushing their narrative of fear and them creating more impoverishment around the world, through the energy crisis, through inflation, through food shortages. All that is really, in a way, forcing people to turn inwards and to claim what is rightfully theirs, to align with the true currency, which is in our heart, in our soul. So that is the currency, everyone, that I really want to invite you to remember. And so dark is calling forth light. And so this is the blessing of these times, that they are forcing us increasingly to own this truth, to own this truth. They're pushing people to their knees, to the breaking point, which is really the break of dawn. That breaking point is the break of dawn, and what happens at that breaking point is there's heartbreak. And that's what's happening increasingly on the planet, is there's heartbreak. Heartbreak at the realization that what I thought true isn't true. And that my government doesn't have my best interests at heart, and they're actually abusing me. They're abusing my children. They're abusing us. And in that heartbreak, there's a breaking open to truth, and there's a breaking open to the currents of life, which provide the currency that we want and that we need, not just to pay our bills, but to command miracles and to birth the golden age and to live from our sovereign divinity and to live abundantly and to rebuild this earth from the gold of our heart and soul. So how do we do this? How do we do this? Well, that's partly to do with my work as one who leads online healing and activation ceremonies every weekend, pretty much. I got 2 more coming up this weekend. But ultimately, how we birth this wealth consciousness in us is, one, by healing the imprints in our DNA, spanning lifetimes, our developmental trauma, our programming, trauma from past lives, our inherited trauma from our ancestry, the program imprints that we've gotten from the toxic collective field in this world. We heal that. We clear that out of our DNA. We clear that out of our consciousness. And what that does is that creates quantum space in our DNA for what's called light code activation. We activate the codes of our spiritual DNA, or what Kaya Ra calls in her wonderful book, The Sophia Code. She calls it your divine genome. So we activate the codes of our DNA, our spiritual DNA, which are nestled up against our biological DNA. Those codes carry the templates for higher living. Those codes, in their totality, represent the divine blueprint for all of life. So what we're doing with our healing and empowerment journey is that we are clearing the trauma imprints, we're clearing the program imprints, and we're activating our divine potential, which already exists in our DNA in the form of latent or dormant light codes. We activate them. It's called DNA activation. We activate them. We activate our soul code. And what happens is that as that light comes on, it transforms our human awareness. And so now we are operating from a higher consciousness, the consciousness of our higher self. And we are being transformed from a lack consciousness to a wealth consciousness. We are transforming from I don't deserve and I'm not worthy to I am beautifully worthy, I am beautifully deserving, and truthfully, you already are all of it anyway. You are a perfect mirror on all levels of the Divine Mother of God. Even Genesis says that in the Bible. You are made in the image and likeness on God on all levels, So you have all the wealth that is of God, you have within you. All the creative power that is of God, you have within you. You can create as God creates, because you are a perfect mirror. You're a holographic mirror on all levels. That's how wealthy we are. That's how abundant we are. And the dark forces want us to believe that we are impoverished. They want us to feel impoverished. They want us to become so disempowered and so dependent on them. What an absolute inversion of reality, that is. So the work comes through our healing and activation, through remembering who we are. And so you are invited to these ceremonies. They're online, they're on Zoom, they're 75 minutes long, and they're only 77 Canadian. And it's a powerful transmission. And like all powerful transmissions, they do the heavy lifting for you. So that means that you don't have to slog through your healing. You can get very advanced healing quickly through this transmission. So this Saturday, I think it's the 28th at 3 p.m. Pacific, I am going to be transmitting the Hathor Star Nation from the Egyptian lineage. And on Sunday, at noon Pacific, I'm going to be working with Lord Krishna. So that's exciting. Last weekend, I transmitted Raven. It was called Dark Raven Wisdom. So I work with spirit animals. I work with all different kinds of beautiful crystalline frequencies, stars. I work with diamond light. I work with... I did a ceremony recently called the Ankh of Life from ancient Egypt. So all sorts of beautiful crystalline frequencies I transmit. So I will put a link to the description to the outline in the description of this video. You can check it out. You can see what I have to offer. And I want to thank you all for listening. I want to thank you all for watching. And please like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Take good care. And I will see you when I see you.